So, up to this point, we've explored how to apply the fundamental concepts of what a fleeting literature and reference note is in the digital realm. We tapped into the frictionless writing that Rome offers and put together a way to combat technology's problem of distracting us and keeping us from focused concentration. Each time we'd process a fleeting note, what we were doing was allowing Rome to help us stay on track. The sibling blocks and the fleeting notes processing phase led to these long, deeply nested conversations with ourself in order to think hard about what something meant to us. This eventually led towards a summary to give us a glimpse of what's behind that wall of text. And all of that information informed us of what the author is saying. Again, summarizing in our own words our understanding of what the author meant in that pinpoint phrase that we captured. This was all for us to think through our writing and not having any of that work going to waste, literally. As we embarked on the permanent notes, it seemed rather easy to crystallize an idea since we had a deeper understanding of ourselves and the author. So the fear of declaring to the world our thoughts had been lifted a bit. Now, as we explore how to connect everything, I want to provide you with some key ideas, somewhat of an overview, and it may get a bit technical, but I just don't see any other way around it. And the quicker you can see what each of these concepts do in the analog slipbox, then the quicker you can experience the ahas as we apply it to the digital Zettelkasten. Let's start with the building blocks of this conversation partner, the permanent note itself. Traditionally, each note will have an alphanumeric numbered sequence. This is to show the relationship that the note has to the notes around it. For example, note A can extend into note A1 and note A2, but you can continue down note A1 with note A1A and note A1B. Okay, let's see if I add actual words to this to make it easier to understand. So if writing can be extended into thinking and note taking, then thinking can extend into partner and focus. Hopefully, you can see how limitless this can be. If only we weren't stuck to the physical constraints. And I say that because this is where the index notes come in. These are actual notes that are placed in the Zettelkasten to point you to different notes that can provide a doorway or an entry into a room full of ideas. Think of it as a solution to the physical limitations that Lumen had to figure out. See, if I have a box of note cards, there's an actual limitation of exactly how many notes I can pull from the box to look at, right? So to solve this complexity, Lumen implemented index notes, a way to pull out one card to see where multiple cards are. Genius stuff. So how about relevant notes? This is where the magic of insight happens primarily because even with just the alphanumeric sequence, you have to be able to see how these different threads of conversation are connected to other conversations, right? If you had a note that said organization and you wanted to connect that to a different conversation along a different thread to say something like about the different types of organization members, you would on each note write the relevant note's alphanumeric ID, connecting them together. And in the physical slip box, that's how you would connect faraway threads of conversation. And as you notice that the alphanumeric numbers begin growing larger and larger, this shows you the clustering that happens in a Zettelkasten. If you can see a cluster forming, it gives you a better idea of what you're interested in. And if you see that the notes are shallow, then it shows you instantly where those conversations are lacking. And in a physical slip box, the alphanumeric ID quickly shows you that clustering. Again, genius work by Nicholas Luhmann. So as we work through these next 2 weeks, we'll be exploring all of these ideas and applying them with the technology that honestly you can only do in Rome. It's the technology that Rome had pioneered with bidirectional linking, but more importantly, the granularity of the block that will blow your mind. For now, I'll see you in the guided writing exercise.